A world where every new crop of youngsters enjoy more wealth and prosperity than the previous one. Sounds like a dream, right? But guess what? It's not a dream. It's how it used to be. Back in the day, parents worked hard, saved up, and built a solid foundation for their kids to thrive upon. But fast forward to the present, and you'll see a stark contrast. The younger generation out there are finding it tougher to make ends meet, struggle to secure reliable jobs, and face insurmountable barriers to owning a home. So let's dive into the heart of the matter and figure out how we ended up here. What if I told you that the future isn't as bright as we once hoped? Remember when we thought we'd climb higher on the ladder of prosperity? Well, it seems like we hit a roadblock instead. Life's throwing some serious curveballs, and the younger ones out there are feeling the sting. Jobs? Scarce. Homes? A distant dream. The struggle is real, and it's hitting us right in the guts. We used to think our parents had it tough, but here we are struggling even more. So let's dive into the heart of the matter and figure out how we ended up here. But before we continue, we would like you guys to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and hit the notification bell icon so you do not miss out on any amazing and entertaining content. Have you ever heard the Greek proverb, "A society grows great when old men plant trees whose shade they know they shall never sit in"? Isn't that a lovely thought? The message behind it, timeless and profound, continues to resonate even in our modern world of economic complexities and theories. However, one cannot help but ponder, are we truly living by this wise adage? For the first time since the Industrial Revolution, successive generations are not experiencing the same prosperity as their parents. While occasional setbacks and historical anomalies have occurred, on the whole, most developed economies have witnessed this shift. In the past, it was expected that children would lead better lives than their parents, but that no longer seems to be the case. Many young professionals now aspire to live lifestyles similar to those of their parents, which is rather disheartening. The struggle to secure stable jobs, afford comfortable homes, start families, and save for retirement is becoming increasingly challenging for younger generations. Ironically, our world today is far wealthier than at any point in the 20th century when the baby boomers were laying the foundation for their prosperous futures. So, what exactly is happening here? How is it that we are richer overall, yet the succeeding generations are facing economic difficulties? Could there be an underlying cause for this perplexing phenomenon? And if so, is there a way to reverse it? Or is this the new norm, where each generation will be financially worse off than the one before it? These are pressing questions we must address if we wish to build a better future for ourselves and the generations to come. An intriguing perspective comes from Lord David Willetts, a British politician, demographer, and author who suggests that being part of a larger cohort may actually be advantageous in a democratic system. Larger cohorts possess more voting power on generational issues and greater influence in marketplaces. The baby boomers, as an example, leveraged their sizable numbers to shape policies that benefited them at different stages of life. In their youth, they advocated for accessible education, family support systems, and robust social welfare. As they progressed in their careers, their voting patterns shifted to favor lower taxes, less business regulation, and domestic industry protections to safeguard against outsourcing and global competition. They even supported zoning laws to preserve the value of their homes, which led to houses becoming not just places to live, but valuable investments. Now, in their later years, the boomers are voting to secure retirement benefits, pension schemes, and the removal of wealth taxes, even if it means sacrificing the very schemes that benefited them earlier in life. Of course, this pattern isn't universal, as some individuals do vote for the greater good rather than self-interest. But on average, this trend has been evident across most advanced economies for the past half-century. In Australia, for instance, the 2019 federal election hinged on a policy decision that would affect retirement account taxes. Older Australian voters played a significant role in determining the outcome. Similarly, a British election study in 2017 revealed a shift in votes for conservative parties, now divided not by wealth, but by age. Imagine the profound impact favorable government policies can have on building wealth over a lifetime. For instance, offering free college or secondary schooling to millennials could have made a substantial difference in their ability to save for a home. You see, the baby boomers had an advantage that went beyond just buying houses when they were more affordable. They were a big cohort in a small world, and that made all the difference. Back in the 1950s and 1960s, the global population was only a fraction of what it is today. Think about it. With a smaller population, there was less competition for everything, including jobs. Employers had a small labor pool to choose from, giving the baby boomers more opportunities. Additionally, labor force participation among women was low at the time, which further reduced the supply and bargaining power of workers. However, it also meant that domestic duties were more readily taken care of, leading to lower household expenditures on childcare, food, and maintenance. With higher relative incomes and lower expenses, many baby boomers managed to pay off their houses with just 1 year's income. Sure, they had to face higher interest rates, especially in the 1970s and 1980s, which were their peak home buying decades. But even with these rates, it didn't have the same impact it would have today. For instance, in 1985, the median home price in the USA was $82,000, which adjusted for median household incomes would be around $103,000. The average mortgage rate was 15%, resulting in roughly $15,000 per year in interest payments. Compare that to today's median home price of $430,000 and an average interest rate of over 5%, which means around $21,500 in interest payments per year. On the surface, these figures seem comparable, but there's more to consider. Some people argue that inflation at that time was extremely high, making higher interest repayments insignificant. However, this isn't entirely true. Inflation in 1985 was around 3.5%, and while it reached 13.5% in 1980, it primarily affected consumer prices, not housing inflation. Housing prices grew relatively modestly during that period, with other expenses becoming the major burden. Interestingly, the high interest rates helped the baby boomers in some unexpected ways. For instance, saving money for a deposit in an account with a 10% interest rate would accelerate their savings goals. Moreover, higher interest rates acted as a natural check on house prices, preventing them from skyrocketing. As populations continue to age and housing prices rise, we face the real risk of reduced social and geographical mobility. A Pew Research study in 2020 found that a significant 52% of young American adults between the ages of 18 and 28 still live with their parents. The financial ties that bind young adults to their parents' homes can hinder their ability to seize opportunities in different cities or regions. Suppose they receive a tempting job offer in a different location. In that case, they must carefully weigh the potential salary increase against the higher living costs they might incur if they move out. Sadly, this dilemma often results in talented individuals missing out on great job opportunities while businesses miss out on productive and skilled workers. When wealth concentration becomes prominent within a specific generation, the effects ripple through entire economies. The money generated by landlords from inflated housing prices is unlikely to be reinvested in businesses, stimulating economic growth. Instead, it is more likely to be poured back into more real estate, further inflating market values and diverting money away from productive assets. Now, I don't want to sound morbid, but let's face it, people eventually pass away, and their wealth gets transferred to their children or other beneficiaries. However, there's a catch. In most cases, individuals don't receive their inheritance until they are much older, nearing the end of their careers, or even starting retirement. Naturally, they are more inclined to use the money to support their own retirement and pass it down to their elderly children. As a result, money tends to pool in the hands of older generations, leaving fewer opportunities for the younger ones to build their lives and the economy. From buying homes to finding good jobs and starting families, these activities are crucial to maintaining a functioning and vibrant society. But we can't run an economy on people merely waiting to grow old enough to contribute. Economists call this predicament the intergenerational wealth problem, and it's a problem that must be addressed. Some proposed solutions include wealth and estate taxes, but let's face it, those are likely to be quite unpopular among the very voting bloc that contributed to this situation in the first place. Now, it's essential to avoid pointing fingers solely at the baby boomers and blaming them for our current economic challenges. In a democratic system, people vote in their own best interest, and policies are enacted to serve the majority. That's how democracy works, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. To gain a broader perspective, let's look at China, the second largest economy globally. Their baby boomers, known locally as the lost generation, experienced a different economic trajectory. They spent most of their working lives in a dysfunctional economic system and missed out on the rapid expansion that occurred after the economy opened up. Despite being a large portion of the population, they didn't enjoy the same prosperity as their Western peers. Moreover, economic conditions and historical context played a significant role in shaping the baby boomers' prosperity. The latter half of the 20th century was remarkably peaceful, and globalization accelerated international trade. Abundant cheap energy in the form of fossil fuels also fueled economic growth, making it an opportune time to amass wealth. While generational wealth concentration and its implications are critical issues, it's essential to approach the topic with nuance and avoid singling out a specific generation for blame. By understanding the broader economic and historical context and exploring potential solutions, we can work towards a more balanced and prosperous future for all. That's it for today's video. We hope you found this video insightful and informative. If you enjoyed this content, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth analysis of global economics and finance. What do you think about this? Who is to blame? Ourselves, our parents, or the government? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.